Okay, so at this point we've saved our cartoon and I've put it in our folder and I want to move it to Illustrator and I want to create a template just like I did with our zoo animals. Before I go ahead and go into Illustrator, I just want to take a quick look at my cartoon and I want to see, okay, cool. So this is a landscape, all right, the way that it's set up because it's horizontal. But if I think about Homer, right, Homer is actually in here in a portrait kind of view because all this stuff over here is just kind of empty space. So that means that I'm going to make a new document and I'm actually going to make it portrait. And again, I'm going to go to profile and print and I'm going to go to my units and I'm going to make them inches. I want letter size and I want portrait and I'm going to say okay to that. All right. Most of the things we do in this class fall into that letter size page no matter what. So, okay, so now I want to go ahead and say file and place, just like I did before. And so here's my online R222, here's my cartoon, here's my Homer. And again, I want to not check link, but I want to check template. And I'm going to place him. And he's big. And you're going to find this. In fact, that's okay. All right. Now, do you see how he's falling on the other side of, or excuse me, how he's falling right through the artboard? Okay, it's because it's a very large image and, you know, it's wide and the artboard is tall. So on first place, do you see how I can see that there's a bounding box here? I can attempt to go ahead and move this, but it doesn't allow for it. So even though you see that bounding box, it still doesn't allow for it. So what you want to do is you want to unlock your template for a second, and we're going to move this over here. And I'm happy to say that the template is washed out like it should be. Remember, we were having that problem with the zoo animals where they weren't actually coming in dimmer. Here, the template is dim. So I'm going to double click on this. It's dim to 50%. I can make it even more dim if I want. Okay, it's completely up to you. However it is easier for you to draw. I like things a little bit different, or excuse me, a little bit dimmer. I do really like to draw with a black line, not a red line like I had to with the zoo animals. Whatever works for you though, okay? So I'm going to tap the letter D on my keyboard, and I'm going to go ahead and take my fill and put it to none. And I'm going to just look at this for a few minutes, and I want to talk it out. So I want to utilize layers, and if I'm going to do that, this leg back here, that's totally going to be a layer, and that's going to be in the back. This arm here is going to be another layer. That's going to be in the front. This other arm, that's a layer in itself. That's going to be in the back. Then somewhere in the middle, we're going to have this body layer. I'm going to make this leg here a different layer as well. And then his head. I'll probably treat the head as one layer. It's completely up to you how many layers you want to do. You can do 10 layers. You can do 100 layers, whatever is easy for you. I like to keep my layer count smaller, and I can do a lot with arrangements. But again, that's up to you. So I'm going to draw Homer, and I'm going to draw the whole thing, I think, and just so that way you can see how it's done. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to find your cartoon character. Actually, I might not draw the whole thing. It depends. I don't want you to have to watch this video for 40 minutes. But I'm going to start definitely with his head, and then I'm going to draw a few other layers, and we're going to kind of go from there. So let's see here. Layer 1. I'm going to rename this to head, and I'm going to start right there. And I'm going to utilize my pen tool, and I'm going to utilize some basic shapes. So let's start right here with his eyeball. This is an ellipse, so let's make it an ellipse. And it's okay if I have to if I make things and I have to move them around a little bit, resize, that's totally cool. Here's another ellipse. I'm just going to duplicate that and put that right here. Perfect. Okay, now it goes through the nose, obviously. That's just there. It is what it is. I'm not going to be able to change that. I don't care about that anyway. So now let's draw the head. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm taking a look at this kind of neckline here. And I think that what I want to do is essentially have this head here go right into this neckline. So I'm going to just click right about here. And I'm going to go right through Homer's mouth, right up like this. And I'm going to go right through Homer's nose too. Why am I doing that? Because I'm going to overlap all that and no one's going to be the wiser. I'm going to come right about here and then I'm going to put my first curve in. And now if I go ahead and I try to utilize my handle, it won't work. So maybe what I'm going to try to do here is move my handle down here. Nope, that won't work either. What if I move my handle up here? There we go. Okay, that's working out a little bit better for me. Okay. I could have also clicked on the caret and not utilized the handle at all. Either can work. Okay, again, wonderful thing about Illustrator, more than one way to do it and to solve a problem. I'm going to go right through the ear again. And right into his shirt. Just like this. Now I'm going to click the caret, click here, and there's my Homer Simpson head. I'm going to turn the template off, and that looks nothing like Homer, okay? And I promise you in about 3 to 5 minutes, it's going to really look like him. So let's take a look at his mouth, okay? His mouth is interesting because we have multiple shapes here that we can work with. And I want to go ahead and I don't want to just break it down by color because that's not always the best way to do it. I want to just break it down by shape in general. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to make a line that goes from here to here. And I'm going to start to draw his mouth here. And I want the mouth to be the dominant piece compared to the teeth. The teeth I'm going to be real sloppy with. But the mouth, I really need that to be nice and smooth right on the actual line here. So I have to follow that pretty well. And actually, no, I'm going to undo this. I'm going to step back a few steps. I'm going to do something a little bit even easier. Watch this. I'm going to go right through here. No, I'm not. I'm going to go back the way I had. I'm sorry. And, you know, here's the thing. I draw a lot in Illustrator, and I do just what I did there. I kind of think about it as I go, and I don't talk to myself, but, I sit there and I kind of make notes as I'm going and try to come up with the best solution. And I think that this is going to be the best solution. And this is why we do this assignment, so you can figure out the best solution for you, too. So, okay, right here, just like this. Oops. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of get all that, like, kind of, his 5 o'clock shadow all figured out here. There we go, just like this. Cut right through where the tongue would go. Make some nice curves. I'm going to go right through that collar. I'm going to come this way. And I'm going to want to close the shape. Now, I'm going to go ahead and essentially I'm going to let the nose define that line right there. So that's why I went right through it. And again, here we are. Starting to look a little bit more like Homer. Not quite there yet, though, okay? But we're on its way. We're on the way. Little hard there. I might go modify those shapes in a little bit. Let's get the mouth. This just big, open kind of black mouth. So, actually, first I'll do the teeth. So watch. I'm going to make the teeth kind of do this. I want to define them really well here, but they don't need to be defined as well when we get to underneath his gum. I'm just going to go like this with it. I'm going to just cut right through it. It's okay if we're a little sloppy there. It's all right. And don't worry about like the hard edge shapes yet, because I still have to smooth this whole thing out. I have to really kind of work on this. So now let's do the mouth. Actually, no. Let's do the tongue. We'll do the mouth last. So the tongue, I can't send that to behind. So I really got to be on the path here, and make it look really good. So let's just go ahead and make this shape like this. We're going to make another one right here, and yet another one. And it's quite all right if you put a little bit of artistic license in it. That's fine. That's no big deal. Don't worry about those lines yet. I'm going to get to them in a minute. So now I have the actual inside of the mouth, and watch. I'm just going to do this. This big old shape. Going to cut through everything. It's going to look horrible. I'm not going to lie. This is not going to look appetizing or appealing or anything like that at all. Not that Homer Simpson's appetizing. But let's take the template layer off. All right, starting to sort of look like him, but still looks weird, right? It'll look better once I start to get some color in there, I promise. And also, you know, a nose. So how about that nose? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start, let's see, here with it. And start creating it. Really want to use my forward handles if I can. Not going to force myself, but if I can, I really want to. And I'm going to come right up here, and I really would like to intersect with this path. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Again, let's take a look at it. Starting to look like Homer a little bit more. Okay. Now let's do his ear. His ear, guys, is just like the elephant ear. So let's see here. I'm going to click, and I'm going to make a line go this way, which is going to allow me to have a nice round ear. Oops, or not. No, that didn't work out the way I hoped it would. So let's just make a single point then. Oh, I know. I'll click and I'll pull here. Get in there, right? Get in there. Okay, so now let's get some details in here. Like, let's get the hair in here. So I'm going to go right here on the edge, click and pull. Well, click on the caret, better control that line. Pull this down. Come down here, do the same thing. Click and pull. Better control that line, and pull this down. That sound you hear, if you hear it like I do, is a vacuum cleaner. So I'm going to shut my door. That's a little better. Hopefully that sound wasn't bothering you on the video too much. And now I'm back. So let's get this little hair that kind of looks like the letter M. Okay. Right here. And then we have this line right here that kind of is just a little arc. And then we have this other line here that just kind of like goes into that one. And I think that's most of his face. Okay, oh, almost forgot. A little bit of detail here in the tongue. And lastly, but not least, his eyeballs. Well, it's actually not his eyeballs. The dots on his eyeballs there. Okay. Let's turn off the background. Hey, that kind of looks like Homer. It's really screwed up looking, but it does kind of look like Homer. I'm going to start coloring it. And the reason why I'm going to start coloring it is just so I can start to bring things in front, send things behind, do the arrangements that are necessary. I'm not really worried about color per se. I'm going to just color him yellow, but I know that's not Simpsons yellow, okay? I'm just going to say object arrange and send it back. I'll find Simpsons yellow later on. I'm going to take these, make them black. I'm going to take these, make them white. I'm going to realize that that eye should be behind that one. So let's take these right here and say object arrange and bring to front. Let's take this nose. Let's make it yellow. Let's take his 5 o'clock shadow here, give it a brownish kind of color. Cool. Okay. Teeth. Those should be white. Okay. This mouth here, that's black. Okay. And let's see, his tongue that I just moved by accident. Let's make it red. Okay, there we go. We got some color in here. All right. Does it look correct? Not yet. The pieces are there, but we just need to arrange a little bit better. So I'm going to just start sending back. So I'm holding my command key down on Mac, control on Windows, and my left bracket. And here I go. And look at that. That's pretty good, right? And check it out. The tongue is in the right spot. This all is in the right spot. It's looking pretty good, okay? Not bad at all. The teeth, they are not correct. So let's send them back. And there we are. All right, cool. And let's see that. Looking pretty good. Ooh, what's that? Oh, when I was drawing that, I totally missed that. Okay. We don't want that there at all. So let's select this path. Let's see if I can just pull this in. I did that, but I got like a little growth in my neck when I did that. So maybe what we need to do is we need to do this thing called an add an anchor point tool. So I'm going to click and hold down the pen tool, and I get this pen tool with a little plus sign. That's our add anchor point tool. I'm going to put an anchor point right here, and I'm going to put another one right about here. And this will allow me to grab this path now and pull it. And the other ones are constrained because I'm not modifying them at all. And there I go. Check that out. That's kind of weird looking, okay? What is that? That's that tip right there. Check this out though. Let's highlight everything and let's put rounded caps and rounded corners on absolutely everything. And right now we have Homer Simpson's face. We'll take a look at his body in a future video.